person. I came from the Bronx, but I've been here since 1986. So I think maybe I've gotten there. I began life learning how to swim from my dad. And when I was 17, I became a water safety instructor, and I taught hundreds of people and thousands of people how to swim. I pulled some of those people out. I'm looking at a young lady there who hasn't stopped bothering me because we don't have a swimming pool in the city of Mount Vernon. In a minority community where minority children are 3 times more likely to drown because they don't have access to a swimming pool to learn how to swim. And I have been about organizing people. If you go on the district website, and you look at the on-demand video talking about renaming Longfellow schools. Who's Longfellow? Anyone know who named 2 schools after him? He comes from Maine. So I said, you know what? People in Mount Vernon have been talking to me about addressing the needs of our own history. So we found some people who have a 350-year history in that district, and we named the schools for the Turner family.
Left off previously by stating that we were the highest taxed city in the country. So with my plan, which will be very painful, we're going to have to close some buildings here in Mount Vernon. As I mentioned, each building costs between $6 and $7 million to operate a year. So with this savings of about $18 million, you're going to see your taxes go down right off the bat, about 18%. And with the newfound money, it's unacceptable spending $28,000 per student in the highest tax in the country that we do not have a swimming pool in the high school. But no one is up in arms about we don't have a swimming pool. Where are all the community action groups in outrage, especially if what Mr. Gutzeit said is true in communities of color, that children don't know how to swim? Where is the outrage? We're going to bring after-school programs and a parent outreach program. Because the problem is when you guys send your kids to school, school is not a daycare. Most of the lessons start at home. The teachers are not here. Teachers are there to teach. They're not there to be social workers. And that is the job that our teachers are taking on. They're taking on the role of being a social worker. So with this parenting outreach program, we will work with the parents to develop parenting skills, child development and growth. Are you okay, man? Need some water? Okay. Let me just... I don't want her to... I need some medical attention. Creating and maintaining a healthy and child-friendly home environment. Nutrition education. Your kids aren't going to school. They're going to school hungry. How do you expect them to function throughout the day? Communication skills. Time management skills. These are all things that should be taught at home. Home economics, including budgeting and consumer skills. Thank you.
This question specifically to the comprehensive plan, strategic plan of the district. And based on those, there are 5 points to that plan. So based on the 5 points to that plan, what area do you see as fundamental, most fundamental to you from your perspective? And how do you propose, again, bringing attention to it based on the 5 areas of the comprehensive plan of the district? Yes.
One, I can't speak to any comprehensive plan because I haven't seen a comprehensive plan. And if anyone up here has seen a comprehensive plan, I suggest we share it with us in the audience so we know what you're talking about. So let me give you my comprehensive plan. Because I don't know what you're talking about, a comprehensive plan. I haven't seen it. If any of you have seen it, please let me know about it, because I haven't seen a comprehensive plan for anything in Mount. I don't think we had one since 1960 in Mount Vernon. So another issue we have here, a lot of our students are being classified in special education. Everyone knows that when you have children in special education, it brings more dollars to the district. So a student who has ADHD and conduct disorder, those aren't classifications where you can put a child in special education. Those are mental illnesses. So when you wrongly classify a child, and nothing is wrong, some of the parents are to blame, because nothing is worse than a lazy parent. Having a lazy parent is like having no parent at all. Some of you parents put your children into special ed and just leave them there. Don't check up on them. Don't see if they still are in the same situation that they have. So this allows our budget to go astronomically, $28,000 per child to educate. We should be embarrassed. This room should be filled to the brim. And again, I'm not surprised because it's intentionally meant so people don't get here. This forum is poorly advertised throughout the community. I mean, it's outrageous here. I mean, I'm paying the highest taxes in the country. I will grab 2, 3, 4 of my neighbors and have them with me. That's what you guys have to do on election day. You have to grab 5, 6, 7, 8 people, bring them to the polls. We've got to vote the incumbents out of office, because someone said they've been there 7 years, and I need 3 more years to fix this problem. We have a serious problem here in Mount Vernon. And that's the problem. We keep aligning ourselves with the power of the so-called power structure.
Thank you, Mr. Rivers.
You're welcome.
Restructuring and transformation is what we've been doing here the last 3 years. And if you haven't seen it, you've been asleep. If you haven't seen it, you haven't been going to the schools and seeing what a superintendent can do when he's motivated. You haven't seen what stakeholders can do when they get a national search to find them. Closing a building sounds really good, but if the school district does its job, people won't have to pay double tax, but it means instead of serving 8,000 children, we'll have to serve 12. And if we're going to close buildings, we'll never find another piece of physical real estate to build a building on. So you don't throw the buildings away, you use them for the purpose that the taxpayers build them for. If I close that ramp tomorrow, it will cost me $30 million to build a new one. Why would I do that? What we have to do is make what we have work and bring our families back. What we do in this community is we say the educational staff are not social workers. Well, you know what? If they're not social workers, they shouldn't be teaching. They have to know that the children have a special need here. Okay? When I went to the Parents Against Teen Violence, I go every year. I go every single year. And I do a program on what to do when the police stop me. Okay? Our children need to know what the problem is for themselves, how to survive. That's what we need to teach. And when our staff are not tuned into the children's needs, we find out when the children talk to us that half of them have PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder people. And that's why they're not engaging in school. So we should hire teachers that do math and science and don't engage children in learning. That makes a lot of sense.
I would like to see vocational education brought back into our district. We have lost that for many years. Smart boards in every classroom. Special ed reform, technology upgraded to meet our needs. Restructuring of our buildings, not closing schools, and I've been an educator for 38 years, and I've been a mother, father, social worker, nurse, doctor, and everything else. So I'm proud to say that I've helped students in all forms. And so, and we have to fix what we have, not get rid of it, but we have to put effort into fixing what we have now.
As one of our strategic plans for the district, the superintendent has spoken about what's called FACE, F-A-C-E, family and community engagement. So I definitely see some focus there, because if, like any of our schools strive when we have that engagement from the community, from the parents in the school. So as the same thing with the district, our district will strive and grow if we have that same thing with our families and our community. So getting our families and our community engaged in our school system, and not just specific schools, but looking at our schools as a whole and not isolating or singling out one of our schools. Dealing with what's called our compact committees. So we need to get that up and running and functioning. I have provided administration. We have an all-top new administration here. So I have provided them the binder that deals with all the community involvement in not only our local buildings, but at our central office level also. Because each one of you have to understand that your engagement, your involvement helps select the quality of the teachers and the administrations that sit before our children. Your involvement, your engagement have say-so in how the dollars are spent in the different school buildings that you can adopt, that you can become involved in. So I've been working with administration by providing them that binder on how this process is supposed to be properly functioning, properly up and running and operating. And then that will also aid in what the superintendent is talking about, the FACE, family and community engagement, which will not just be an individual for that, like a parent liaison, but it will be a department of people to help our parents in special education to learn that process, to help our parents in our general education. So that's part of what I will be doing in reference to the strategic plan, among working on all of the goals, all of the plans, but definitely see some focus there, listening to our community, and because we want our schools to be a better system. Thank you.
I too have to admit, I did not know there was a comprehensive plan. I'm not going to lie and say I knew that. I'm also not going to waste your time or my time by making up an answer. But I will just say that I don't have to read the plan to know that I agree that FACE, that family involvement and community involvement, is the absolute key. I mean, as your moderator said, that as the school district goes, so goes the community. That's very true. I was homeschooled, okay? I'm from the South. My mother didn't have the option to send me to public school. She did not feel it was a good enough job. She tried private school. She didn't think that was a good enough job. So she homeschooled me, and I'm grateful for that. That worked for me. That is not an option for the vast majority of parents, and I know that. I know that. I went to public community college. Anyway, I'm just saying that parental involvement and community involvement is the key, and nothing works without that. We work for you. The school board works for you, and we have to work with you. You can't work for a boss you don't know. That's the reality.
I too do not know the strategic plan for the current board. However, I do know what works. And I can tell you right now, yes, I agree with Mr. Goodside that there's been a lot of changes and we have been getting better. But you know what? We're running out of time, folks. We're running out of time. People are leaving our community. They're not coming back. People are not buying into the community, and our kids are suffering for that. Okay, the schools are not getting better quickly enough. We need to do something. We need to do it now. I'm not a bureaucrat. And that's why I own my own business, because I can't sit there around waiting for people to make decisions and push paper. I get things done, and we need to get something done quickly here. So, top of my list, I know Mr. Goodside and some other people spoke about children of need. That's not the only children that Mount Vernon has, okay? I don't want people to have pity on us, as if all of our children are children of need. We're a very diversified community. We have children of need, and we have children going to Harvard. Do people know that? Okay? So we should focus on, again, tailoring education for all of our children's needs, the ones who have special needs to the ones who need to go on to higher education and will become incredibly productive members of our society. And on top of that, we need to do something quickly, such as build a school of excellence. We have to give parents here an option to not send their kids to private school and stop the bright flight. Okay, the smartest kids in the district do not go to school in the district. Okay, I can tell you that right now. It hurts us all over. It brings down our average scores. It causes a lot of citizens to be overburdened and overwhelmed. I've walked door to door, and let me tell you, picking up signatures for the petition, that many doors I almost got slammed in my face, how much cynicism, how much people are so sick of Mount Vernon, paying the taxes, the school.
Thank you.
And I tell them, I am not that person. I'm going to get things done for you.
Thank you.